Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, we're at the Wanenmacher's Tulsa Arms Show, the world's largest gun show. Here with Jim Supica, director of the National Firearms Museum, and Steve Fjestad. Steve, from the Blue Book of Gun Values, one of the preeminent book when it comes to what you do, Jim, and what these people in this room do. Tell us more about the Blue Book, and tell us why you're here.
Blue Book of Gun Values was started in 1989. Started out with 280 pages. Now it's 2,432 pages.
It's quite hefty.
It's hefty. And for some of the newer viewers out there, 10 years ago, this book had 12 AR-15 manufacturers in it. And what this one has?
I can't imagine.
136. And that explains part of the page head grease, because we all know the AR-15 and the AK-47 configurations have really gone wild over the last 4 or 5 years. And prices have gone pretty crazy also. And I think you've seen it the last couple of days, Jim. Things are pretty wild around here.
The place is packed, and every dealer here has 2 copies of this under the table. They've got a brand new one for when they're selling a gun, and they've got one that's 10 years old to show people who they're trying to buy guns from. But the show is packed, and one thing I wanted to talk with you a little bit about is what you see happening with gun value trends. And today we're coming off of an election, and the gun market responds to the election, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when I came back, I've been in Asia for a couple of weeks. When I came in on Friday, I sensed just a lot of fear. I sensed a lot of anger. Just people were venting about, of course, this latest presidential election. But I mean, we have to get on with business.
Right.
That's what we're here for. And speaking of business, collectible firearms continued to do well. I think most of the reason in the last 4 years has to do with the auction houses, the proliferation of the auction houses. Without the auction houses right now, you guys, I think there'd be just an oversupply in the marketplace, saturated as a matter of fact. You know, most of the guys that have been doing this for a long time are in their 70s and 80s. They're passing away, and the auction houses have enough infrastructure so that they can, liquidate the assets. I talked to an ammo dealer earlier today, and his gross sales yesterday beat 2008, the November show, was what a high water mark.
Well, they say that after Obama's first election, he became the greatest gun salesman for, he helped boost gun sales so much.
He took over Clinton's job.
Exactly. So should we expect that and then some in his re-election?
That's a good question. I think the coin's still in the air. Obama has been, actually smart enough not to try anything really stupid with anti-gun rights, but the second term, all bets are off. I see a lot of speculation down there.
When you talk to people, what do they say?
People say that we're still on the fence here a little bit, okay? Now the auction people, they buy what they buy, but the AR-15, here's what's changed. In the last 4 years, 4 years ago, your house was an ATM machine. The economy was good. Things were sweet. No, no longer. So guess what? The people 4 years ago who had like a little money, they'd buy an AR-15. They'd buy an AK-47 because of fear and greed, mostly because of fear and greed. Those days are kind of over because the economy is in there, and those people already bought 1 or 2, and they don't have the money to do it anymore, but they do have the money to buy extra ammunition, high-capacity magazines, anything they feel that could be on a ban list. That's what they're watching for right now.
But you also look at cities like Chicago that are imposing a $25 tax on the purchase of Cook County, Illinois.
Yes.
Issuing new levies on guns. Would things like that, and you'll probably hear more and more of that as big cities go, so go the rest of the country. Do you think that's going to depress the market at all?
Well, that's the fear factor. I mean, again, whenever the fear factor comes up, you add demand that wasn't there before. Whenever you add demand that wasn't there before, prices go up if the supply stays the same. So I think we're going to have to really keep our eyes and ears close to the ground and just see what this administration does in terms of potentially passing any anti-gun legislation. Everybody in this room right now, I think everybody is scared, they're apprehensive, they don't exactly know which way it's going to go, but they are standing by and they are ready to move in a second.
What do you see happening with the collector gun market? Currently, have collector guns held their value? Are they increasing? We've seen a lot of stuff go down in value. What's happened with guns?
Good collector guns, Jim, as you know, I think they're as strong as ever. But the reason they're as strong as ever is because of the auction places again. The auction houses have provided these guys with liquidity and the sophistication that just simply wasn't there 10 years ago. I mean, 2 auction companies this year are going to do $84 million in sales. 2 brick and mortar auction companies, 5 auctions, $84 million of sales. Where would that have gone 10 years ago? To dealers? You know, gun shops? No, they couldn't have sold it all. So thankfully, they provided a good bottom line for the marketplace. And I think that collector guns, the good stuff is always going to be good. It's always going to at least hold its value, and we're going up. Some of the guns that, you know, maybe weren't quite as good as they should have been with the money 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And people were buying stuff that was a lower quality for maybe a premium.
Yeah.
Those people got hurt.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to get hurt.
Yeah. Well, every year you have to look at the entire market and come up with estimates for value of basically every gun ever made in a range of conditions.
Yes.
Are you seeing any of those dropping? For years I've seen the Blue Book each year. There's an increase in the values to reflect the market. Are you seeing any areas that are stagnating or going down?
Good question. The answer is junk will always be junk. Really,
I'm in trouble then. Yeah, damn.
And so what does that mean with the Blue Book of Gun Values? It really means that anything in 30% or lower condition, that stuff really isn't going up.
When you say 30%, what are you talking about?
30% of the original condition of the gun when it was originally manufactured. Nickel finish, blue finish, the wood varnish and things like that. So, I mean, the 95%, the really good condition guns, that's what people are still collecting. Most of these collectors down here are either trying to, you know, increase the condition factor of what they have right now, or maybe buy another variation that they don't have. None of these guys are looking for something in poor condition unless it's a super rare variation.
So if a guy has a 50% finished gun, he should get it refinished and have a 100% gun?
I didn't say that, Mr. Supica, okay? But thank you for trying to get me into trouble, all right?
Let me ask you guys a question.
No.
You guys are very good friends, long time. Jim, have you ever seen a value in Steve's book that you've just so completely disagreed with? You've picked up the phone and Steve, what in the heck are you doing?
Don't say a word. I'm taking this off and I'm leaving.
Yeah. You're sending me a check, right? Yeah.
You can put me in a monthly installment contract.
He blamed it on me when I found it. I found one that was ridiculous,
right.
And it happened that I had talked to him. And Steve does his research on this.
Of course.
I mean, you look at the credits in this, there's a list of who's who among gun dealers, gun collectors. He's out there reaching out to the people who are actually doing this on a day-to-day basis. I'd mentioned to Steve that I'd seen a new model number 3 in mint condition sell for $10,000, and I was astounded by that. I thought that was the end of the world. Well, the astounded by it, end of the world didn't get across, but the $10,000 registered. So,
well, as a matter of fact, today, I mean, a good example, guy came up with a Remington 32 carbine. It's called a trapper model in 32 caliber. We got them in the book for $1,350 in 98% condition. This guy paid $2,750 for one in 60%. Okay?
Yeah.
And he said, Steve, you got some trouble there. So I mean, I made the notes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't be 100% accurate in everything, but that's why I'm at this show, to talk to Jim and other really knowledgeable people where there are trends. Then we gotta pump things up. And in the next book, I think you're going to see more prices go down than go up.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, last question.
Especially in 70% or lower.
Yeah.
Last question. Why is NRA Executive Vice President and CEO Wayne LaPierre on the cover of this year's issue?
He paid me a lot of money.
How important is he in the NRA to what you do?
This guy is the face of the NRA. I mean, we all know that without Wayne LaPierre, it certainly would be a different NRA. And, you know, because it was an election year and all the stars were kind of lined up, I thought it'd be a pretty bright constellation And he was gracious enough to accept, and I was really happy to have Wayne Lepp here. And I hope he's here today. I've heard some scuttlebutt that he might be here. And if so, I'm hoping he can sign books next to me down there.
That would be nice.
Steve's been a tremendous friend of the NRA and the museum. He's been very, very generous with us, very gracious. He always helps us publicize the museum through the book. He's been a huge supporter. He's been kind enough to let us put some of his material. He's got great reference appendixes in the book, and he's let us put that online on the NRAmuseum.com website. So we appreciate that, Steve.
We're also trying to, get some guns for the new National Firearms Museum in Springfield, which will be opening up next year. And we're trying to, I'm working on a couple of deals that maybe Jim can cherry pick that collection and get some guns for the. That's going to be exciting, Jim, when that museum opens up.
It's a huge thing, biggest thing.
I can't wait
in
to see
museum
it.
history since we opened the original museum.
Excellent.
It'll be spectacular.
Excellent.
Bass Pro Springfield, Missouri,
Yeah.
opening March of 2013.
You going to make it?
I don't know.
Steve,
We'll
real
find
quick,
out.
give us a website people can find out more.
www.bluebookinc.com.
Steve Fjestad, Jim Supica, thank you very much. Good to see you. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Curator's Corner.